All right, one. All right. Oh, good morning. Good morning. It's another Wednesday morning, and you're locked in live with the religious news team on Waves 96.3 FM. And as usual, people, folks, we have a very interesting topic to delve into today as well, right, Becky?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man. Every time we come up
Why
here,
not?
our whether our counterparts come up here, we have interesting things to talk about. But this one, I know people. I've said it in previous settings already, but I believe this one will really spark some interest in you because this one really, really now we can see that this is going to affect how we go about our daily business.
Yeah.
It is going to affect how we operate in society from now on hereafter. Because this now, Becky, is really showing us a fulfillment of prophecy
Yeah.
from the Bible. And it is really showing us how close we are, people, to the end. So I would implore you all to stick around with us until the end because we really wanted to grasp the concepts of what is happening and to really show you how close we are. The Bible tells us in what's that scripture now, Becky? Romans, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
13:10, 10:13. One of them where it says that knowing the time that it is high
High
time
time.
to wake out of sleep,
Yeah.
for now is our salvation nearer than we first believe. Now is the time, people, to wake out of sleep. And I'm gonna show you the things that are happening that should awake you out of your slumber so you can make an intelligent decision for Christ, even now more so than ever before it is eternally too late. Because Becky, we realize that all over the world right now, the governments are tending to one regime, one aspect,
Yeah.
and that is the curtail the freedom of individuals worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And I
True.
want to show you on a broader level as well, people of how this is correlating directly with prophecy and how we are so close to the end and why we need to be prepared. So
Yeah.
without further ado, let us have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father and our God, a compassionate Savior and a friend, we give you thanks again for another opportunity where which we can come before you and before your people to give them your message of truth and salvation. I pray now that they will take it up in arms and that they will live out your life within them so that they can be fitted for eternity. Speak to our hearts now as you seek to speak to your people, that whatever we may say may be coming straight from your throne, for Christ's sake.
Amen.
Amen. All right, people. So, as usual, we want to look at a particular passage of scripture. But before we do so, we're just looking at the caption. It says dictatorship or democracy. Is our liberty of conscience now threatened? Before going to Becky,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about that? Our liberty of conscience. Why is it important to have liberty of conscience? That's the first thing. Why is it important, people? Anybody can comment. Why
I've
is it
been seeing
important
that thing
to have
popping
liberty
up
of
from the
conscience?
other day.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty of conscience,
Yeah, threatened.
religious freedom, and
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
And I don't really think deep into it, but liberty of conscience, one should be able to act or behave in whatever way he
Yes.
or she pleases,
Yes.
because we're given choice.
Yes.
The Lord says that we should do things a particular way to honor Him,
Yes.
but then we're still given the choice to do or not to do,
Yes. So true.
and that should be allowed. The Lord
Yes.
allows it,
Yes.
so mankind should also allow
Allowed.
that kind of
Yes.
freedom,
See that
freedom of
mankind comes
choice.
from God.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
interestingly as well, Becky, as I mentioned that people. The Bible says in Galatians 5 verse 1 to stand fast in the liberty by which Christ has made you free, and never again to be entangled with the yoke of
Bondage.
bondage. It
Yeah.
simply means that yoke men will seek to yoke us with bondage, Becky.
Hmm.
But God is telling us from before and that we should stand fast in that liberty. And interestingly as well, every law of the land that is in place right
Uh-huh.
now
Uh-huh.
comes from the fundamental laws of God,
Hmm.
the Decalogue. So every laws that humanity has put in place, coming from those 10 commandments, which are laws of freedom. But then you
Yeah.
realize that
Yeah.
mankind now are what is it now, changing those laws
Hmm.
and so forth to suit their own system and their own narrative.
But the reason I laugh,
Mhm. Yes.
see, mankind, they're telling us that the laws are done away with. So we are now under grace and we are free to act in a
Wow.
particular way.
Wow.
But as you mentioned in the verse, outside of God's commandments,
Yes.
there is no liberty, there is no
Yes.
freedom.
Yes.
You're in yoke
Total
of
bondage.
bondage.
Total
You're
bondage.
under the yoke of bondage. So
Uh,
the only way to be free is by keeping his commandments. Same that
yes.
one that we
Yes.
see as a burden,
Yes.
you know.
But you know, also a scripture I was trying to find it a while ago. It's thinking somewhere in Corinthians where it says that where the spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty.
There's liberty,
There's
yeah.
liberty. So anywhere we have where liberty is being threatened,
Mhm.
people, we simply know that the spirit of the Lord doesn't reside
It's
there.
not there.
It does.
And
It is not
therefore
there.
you're supposed to expect all kind of negative
All kind of backlashes.
eventualities, you know. Yeah.
I'm saying that if I can pull it up.
It cannot be peace and joy and
No,
happiness anywhere outside of,
anywhere
you know,
outside.
the keeping of God's Ten Commandments.
Yes. 2 Corinthians 3:17.
Yeah.
It says, "Now this Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." So,
Mhm.
seeing that this liberty of conscience is now being threatened, people, what is that saying for us? It is simply telling us that the Spirit of the Lord is being withdrawn from
Yeah.
this earth. Because this liberty is not one place, and it's a worldwide thing. So,
Mhm.
it simply means that Revelation 14, Becky, Revelation 7, I should say, is coming to pass,
Mhm.
where the angels are slowly drawing the winds of strife, are slowly letting go the winds of strife, right?
Yeah.
So as they are letting go, the spirit of God is being withdrawn, people. And
Mhm.
so we see this liberty of conscience being threatened. So we realize that the spirit of God is slowly, not so slowly again, is speedily being withdrawn from this earth.
Yeah.
So let's get into the meat of the matter. All right. The Bible tells us in Mark 13 and verse 9. That's where we're going first. It says, "But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them." The scripture here, Becky, is a proclamation of the last days,
Yeah.
our time that we're living in now. It is unmistakably showing us people that the rulers under the influence of Satan will be stirred up against the people of God to bring them to naught, to destroy them. But you know, for every disappointment, there
Mhm.
is a reappointment with God. God will use their influence for His glory as a testament or a testimony, the Bible says, against them. So even though we know that this is going to happen when a liberty of conscience is stripped, we shall be brought up to councils and beaten and so forth.
Yeah.
But that in and of itself, just like John the Baptist, will be a testimony against our prosecutors and also for vindicating Christ's character.
True.
So why are we bringing all of this? I want to give you some current events of what is happening in the world, people, to show you how we come to the conclusion rather that our liberty of conscience is being stripped from us, that we're now in a world of authoritarianism. This one is from the 6th of October 2025 from the Observer News. It says top Democratic senator warns Trump on path to dictatorship. The senator warning that, you know. He said the top US Democratic senator warned Sunday that President Donald Trump called for the Justice Department to take action against his enemies. His enemies puts America on a path to dictatorship, turning the agency into an instrument that goes after his enemies. Whether they are guilty or not, is the path to dictatorship. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said on CNN. He said that's what dictatorships do. Trump publicly urged his Justice Department on Saturday, listen to this carefully now, people, to take action against his perceived enemies, the latest in a series of moves that critics say have shattered the agency's traditional independence.
Mhm.
All right, we'll give you another one to top of that one. But this one is from NPR, that I guess is from the 22nd of April this year. Hundreds of scholars say US is swiftly heading towards authoritarianism. So see, I'm giving you that one news from different sources, so you see how important and urgent this thing is, people. It says a survey of more than 500 political scientists finds that the vast majority think the United States is moving swiftly from liberal democracy towards some form of authoritarianism. In the benchmark survey known as Bright Light Watch, Hear what it says. US-based professors rate the performance of American democracy on a scale from 0, which is complete dictatorship, to 100, which is perfect democracy. After President Trump's election in November, scholars gave American democracy a rating of 67. 67, was a rating after his election in November.
Yeah.
Now listen to this part carefully now. Several weeks, not months, several weeks into Trump's second term, that figure plummeted to 55. And this is what they had to say about it. That's a precipitous drop, says John Kerry, who is a professor of government and co-director of Brightline Watch.
Yeah.
He says there's certainly consensus. We're moving in the wrong direction. Remember, it is 0 absolute dictatorship to 100 perfect democracy.
Yeah.
And it was at 67,
67.
and it just dropped in a couple of weeks to 55. Now it's supposed to be now office a couple months now, don't it? So man, imagine when we reach now.
Since the
If a couple weeks,
30s.
people, what we're saying to you
happening
know,
now. Yeah.
yes, because I don't think you get it, If a couple weeks, people, and it drops so significant. Imagine a couple months now, couple weeks, and that's the biggest drop ever from this survey started.
Yeah.
From the beginning of this survey. Not the beginning of it this year, from the beginning of it ever come into existence.
Mhm.
That is the biggest drop it has ever recorded. From 67 to 55 in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Now Trump has been in office for a couple months. So man, I wonder where it is now, Vicky. It's supposed to be close to 0 right now. Close to 0. It says
But this is the lamb like. This is the
Lamb
lamb.
like beast.
The lamb.
yeah, I mean,
it's a lamb.
it's a lamb. So I don't know how America behaving like this.
Nice
As a lamb.
and comfy. And...
Yeah, warm and nice. It says that Kerry said the decline, between November and February was the biggest, the biggest since Brightline Watch began surveying scholars on threats to American democracy in 2017. So from 2017, when this thing was brought into existence,
yeah,
this is the biggest drop ever recorded. And I'm like, why no? Why at this specific time? This is where we're seeing autocracy happening in America. But let's continue. We're gonna look on it. It says in the survey, respondents consider 30 indicators of democratic performance, including whether the government interferes with the press, punishes political opponents, and whether the legislature and the judiciary can check executive authority. Becky, when I was in school,
yeah,
I learned that the judiciary branch was the highest branch. So,
yes,
when laws are legislated,
it is
and it is supposed to be
yeah.
executed, you have to go through the court system, the judiciary branch before it's executed.
Yes.
Now Trump bypass all of that. Yeah, man, he just execute. He just execute laws all about. And it's after now the courts are catch up with it and I say, that the constitution, this and that. So I'm like, you serious? Why bypass that? You see what we're saying, people? On the path to dictatorship. The man is bypassing both the legislature and the judiciary branch. He just execute. Just execute and assign laws. Man. It says here, not all political scientists view Trump with alarm, but many like Kerry who focus on democracy and authoritarianism are deeply troubled by Trump's attempt to expand executive power over his first several months in office. And he has been expanding this executive power.
Yeah.
He says that we've slid into some form of authoritarianism, says this person, Stephen Levitsky, who is a professor of government at Harvard. And he's the co-director of How Democracies Die. So he writes a book, How Democracies Die. And this is what he's saying. It is relatively mild compared to some others. It is certainly reversible. That's what he's saying. But we are no longer living in a liberal democracy. We're no longer living in a liberal democracy.
He's saying it's reversible.
Yeah, man, that's what he's saying. It's certainly reversible. But listen as it goes further, man. You realize that it's not reversible. Now, this person, Kim Lane Sheppel, who is a Princeton sociologist who has spent years tracking Hungary, is also deeply concerned. Now, we over this, and you're deeply concerned. It says that we're in a very fast slide into what's called competitive authoritarianism. Okay. And she's going to explain, or he's going to explain what this competitive authoritarianism is. It says that when these scholars use the term authoritarianism, they aren't talking about a system like China's, a one-party state with no meaningful elections. Instead, they are referring to something called competitive authoritarianism, the kind scholars say they see in countries such as Turkey and Hungary. And we're coming back to Turkey shortly. So I want you to stick around to the end, people, because this is gonna open your eyes and a whole heap of things that they didn't realize is happening in our world. It says in a competitive authoritarian system, a leader comes to power democratically and then erodes the system of checks and balances. Typically, the executive fills the civil service and key appointments, including the prosecutor's office and judiciary, with loyalists. He or she then attacks the media, universities, and non-governmental organizations to blunt public criticism until the electoral playing field in the ruling party's favor. Becky, we stick up in this. We see that happening any other branch going to office. We see any other happening people. You know, comment and let us know it has.
That's the only thing that has been happening.
Exactly. The only thing that has been happening. Universities being targeted on a wide scale. We realize that mass deportation levels even shift up the federal government in a way that has never been before. Fire people illegally and then hire people who are in tandem with his regime and what is happening. I wonder what is all of this for.
But why are we
Yes.
alarmed, or why do we expect better? Because in the initial stages, he made reference to Project 2025,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
He'll be carrying out every tenet that is in Project 2025, that 900 odd page document.
Yes.
And then we see the things happening, executive order upon executive order. Why is it alarming? Or why is it that the United States is expecting anything different from what he said he would do?
Yes.
All we need to do is get ourselves acquainted with Project 2025. Oh,
Yes.
John Kerry, of all
Yes.
persons,
Yes.
is surprised to see these things happening at this alarming rate. If you have 900 plus pages
on the document, yeah, man.
you're not supposed to be doing something every 2 hours.
True. So Becky, it inevitably shows us the path that we're on.
Yes.
That America is on the path to destruction. But the interesting thing about it, people, is that if America is on the path to destruction, it simply means the entire world is on the path to destruction.
That is it.
Because the entire world is gonna follow suit. I'm gonna show you that from scripture, going shortly down. So we're seeing so far, or thus far, that the main point I want to bring about this rather is that a lot of these scholars are seeing authoritarianism.
Yes.
A lot of things are said, but the main point is that they are seeing authoritarianism. And the fact that this is the biggest drop from the commencement of the survey, is it coincidence or is it by design? But as I mentioned, the Project 2025 document realized that this is no coincidence.
Yes.
None at all. But my question is that, are the moral of what I really want to bring from these two people is that, why is it happening at this time? Why when he was in office 2016 he never have this totalitarian rule? Why at this juncture in Earth's history? Is that showing us that we're on the final leg or the final lap? I remember, 2030, the agenda goals are supposed to be complete and set in place. But now you're doing it like 5 years prior to that time.
Yeah.
Why is it that all of this is being implemented right now and not before when it was in office or the term before that term? Why is it that it is happening at this point in Earth's history? That should open your eyes, people, to show you how close we are to the end, or how close Christ is about to put in his appearance. Because even though men or Satan influencing mankind is doing things, God overrules the affairs of men nonetheless. And God alone knows the time. But he gives us signs. And because the time is so close, we realize that the signs are ripening now and they were ripening back then. Vicky. So the fact that this totalitarian rule is happening on a global scale one time, it shows us people that we're at the end.
Yeah, in addition to that,
yes,
you have, the president has 4 years.
Yes, 4 years.
to put through all of these things
Yes.
that I made mention of in
Yes.
Project 2025? Why going at such a fast pace?
Yes.
As if you want to complete all
Yes,
of those by
before.
the ending of
Right.
December.
Right.
You
That's
know,
true. That's
it
true.
also adds up, you know. It means that they know
Yes.
the speed at which they should go because
Yes.
there's just a short
Window.
period of time,
Yes. Yes.
right? We know that there is a short period of time, even
Yes.
if we did not know.
Yes.
Looking at the speed at which these persons are
So
acting,
true.
warp speed,
So true.
it means that something momentous is
That will
in the
happen.
pipeline.
Yes.
Well, let me
Yes.
not say in the pipeline.
It is.
It's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
It's happening.
Pass through the pipe.
Yeah, so we should
Yes.
be aware, we should be more conscious,
Yes.
and we should be thinking that way. And I notice, well, even yesterday I heard somebody saying, why is Trump causing so much truck problem, you know, Venezuela?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
was
because you know,
told there,
in bomb one next boat recently
that
and
is
killed
it,
6 more.
boat and all of that.
Wow.
And I'm saying, are we looking forward to, are we expecting peace?
Yes.
You know, I'm
Yes.
wondering if our denominations have changed or Christianity has changed,
Wow.
because we are expecting things to become
Yeah.
more peaceable
Yes. Yes.
and more peaceable, as if our belief system has changed. There was a time when because we believe what the Bible says,
Yes.
there was a time when we expected things to get worse and worse and worse until Christ comes.
Yes. So true.
But now when things
So
are
true.
getting worse and worse, we are
Nobody them to
saying,
get, you know, it's like a slack up. It's like a slack up.
because we expected peace and
Yes,
joy
yes.
and happiness.
But you know that is so serious yet interesting, Becky, because it shows us people that the closer we are. Yes, when you see that you mentioned happening now, it's supposed to spark some interest to you, listeners and our viewers online, to show you that how close we are. Because the closer we are to the end, because Satan knows how close he is to the end as well, you know.
Yeah.
The closer we are to the end is the more deceptive Satan becomes. So it's the more he frames his work for you to believe that, look here, we need peace and safety. We're not supposed to, we're not looking for Christ to come now. We're not deceiving in such a way for you to think that you have another 100 years leave on the earth and so forth. I don't see that happening now. But then persons used to study these prophecies and they say, man, you know, prepare because this is coming. But the closer we are to it now, it's like a back at the past you're going and at the future. It's like the closer we're going on, people are pushing back to say, man, this thing like really happening now, and you know, we need peace in the world and where we should be warning the people to be prepared for Christ coming.
Yeah, but it won't get better, you know.
No man, it can't get better. It will only get worse.
So if a Christian expects the thing to be better,
yes,
it means the belief system has changed.
Yes. For the worse.
We are looking for a 1,000 years of peace on earth.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
And then how Satan
and that's
does
what we believe.
And that how Satan does it, Becky, is the fact that if you look around you, the Bible says in Thessalonians, when it shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction.
Yeah.
When you look all around you, you're not seeing sudden destruction. Peace and safety. But I love what Daniel 8:25 says, people. That by peace Satan shall destroy many. Look at what Trump is doing, and I mentioned Venezuela and so forth. That does not seem like a dictatorship kind of thing to you. Man just gonna bomb innocent, just bomb and kill people. So
true.
And you don't know if they're innocent or they're not. They just have bomb up boat till war, same wage war in the Caribbean right now. As a matter of fact, I'm wage war with everybody happening right now. I don't see that as a dictatorship rule. Yeah, man, go and go study the history and see what dictators used to do back in the times. But the question we want to leave with you, people, is for you to. A question I want to leave with you is, how close are we to the end? You know.
Yeah.
Ponder that in your head, based on what we were talking and what we're about to say to you. How close are we to the end of all things? Who is really in control?
Yeah.
And the mere fact that these scholars, Becky, are worried. Don't you think that we should be worried too? The people, if the scholars who study and see these things are seeing a totalitarian government being implemented, don't you think we should be worried too? Because we have mentioned this before in this program, you know. We brought this before with the camera system, that anywhere you have a lot of cameras being installed in a country, it is regarded as totalitarian. You understand? So We've gone through that already, but we're seeing that it's getting deeper as they are getting more prominent in their rulership. There's not only cameras, they will come out now with the laws and the whole society itself and change things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how it's happening. The Bible says in Revelation 13:16 people, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Who forces? That's the question I'm asking. A dictator or a democrat? Who is the one who forces? It must be a dictator. The Bible says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And if I read further going up, you realize they see a whole cause. Humans are over forcing this beast system is doing. Then you realize that if you're in a democratic society, you don't really get forced. The people have the power, right? But in a dictatorship, at the government, not even government, one person have all the power. And we're gonna look at how we're seeing that happening in our world today. The Constitution, this one is from Great Controversy I'm reading from. Very important book, and this is a very important paragraph. It's from 564, paragraph 5. And hear what it says, and this was written over a century ago.
Yes.
Over a century ago in a people.
Yeah.
And I want you to see how important this is to our day. This is for our time right now. It says the Constitution of the United States guarantees liberty of conscience. That's what the Constitution guarantees now. That's what it's supposed to still guarantee. Liberty of conscience. Nothing is dearer or more fundamental than liberty of conscience. It says that Pope Pius IX, in his encyclical letter of August 15, 1854, said, the absurd and erroneous doctrines or ravings in defense of liberty of conscience are a most pestilential error, a pest of all others most to be dreaded in a state. The same Pope, in his encyclical letter of December 8, 1864, so this is 100, no, this is 10 years later, yes, anatomized those who assert the liberty of conscience and of religious worship. Also, all such as maintain that the church may not employ force. What is that saying to us, Vicky? What are we seeing from this thing, people?
Is he saying that we're not supposed to be free?
That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that all right, when this thing began, when, because I remember, this statement couldn't be far back then. Had to be for now, because at that time, liberty of conscience was a fundamental thing. You used to uphold liberty of conscience, right? Back then. So that is why during the Dark Ages, the 1260 years supremacy, people fled to America because it was seen as a safe haven where you can worship God according to the dictates of your own conscience. No, Rome, people. He's saying that, yeah man, they made a mistake. Yeah man, that he said that should be dreaded. That's a most pestilential error.
It's an error in the Constitution.
In the Constitution, should be dreaded in any state. You must not have liberty.
But that's conscience. The voice of the devil.
Yes, man. That is why we're trying to show you people that this dictatorship that is happening all over the world today, and not tomorrow, it's happening today, it's happening, people. It is stemming directly from Rome. But the question you want to ask, was it prophesied? And are we living that prophecy? No. We saw here from this book, Great Controversy was prophesied, but we want to look from the Bible. Was it prophesied? We're going to look at Revelation 13 again. Same Revelation. Looking at Revelation 13 today. We're looking at verse 12, verse 14, and verse 15. And this is what's going to set the stage for what we're going to go into next, people. So I want you to take keen attention, pay keen attention, and comment and let us know your thoughts on what we're saying right here. This is what Revelation 13 has to say. Verse 12. It says, and he exercised it. This is the earth beast with the lamb-like horns. He says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. That is what verse 12 says. Read it again, and I think you get it. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 14, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause the cause again, that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be what? Should be killed. And
Yeah.
I want to stick up in at this killed right here, people. You know, we're seeing we have reached a state in this world's history.
Yeah.
Where when you go against the regimes or the regimes of the government or what is set in place by them, you are labeled as a terrorist. Yeah, man, and you should be killed. I want to get that in your head right now that you should be killed. Extreme force is supposed to be used against you, and I'm gonna prove that right now to you, Charlie, and point that out to you where we are. Because what we're trying, people, is for you to get an understanding of what will be the case of those who stand for God in this time. What will be the consequences of those who choose to stand for God, to stand for His principles and His commandments in this time?
Yeah.
So in Revelation 13:12, realize that the America, which is the lamb-like beast, exercised all the power of the first beast before him, which was Rome, and he caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship Rome. Keep that in mind. Remember before I stated that Rome is where this dictatorship regime started from, and we see that America has taken it from Rome. And the Bible prophesied that people will see right in Revelation 13. The Bible said it to us. Now look at this. Rome is seen as a world ruling power.
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe it or not, you could dispute it from now till the morning, it don't matter. The Bible said it. Rome is seen as a world ruling power. And it got that title. Who get that title from, Becky? Who will get the world ruling title from? I don't know if you know. You know where we get it from?
Rome.
Yeah, we get that title from the world ruling power.
You mean who wants to be ruler of the world?
Right. No, man. Rome being the world ruling power,
Okay.
you got that power from somebody, Yeah, man. Satan himself.
Oh yes, that's where I was
No, man,
heading.
Satan himself. The Bible says that Satan gave him power and great authority.
Great authority.
Yeah, man. Rome is seen as as that was seen. Rome is the world ruling power. The reason I said seen is because he got a deadly wound and whatever. So Rome is that world ruling power now, people.
So he's acting on whose behalf?
Yeah, man. Rome is acting on Satan's behalf.
Satan's behalf.
Always Satan's behalf from Bible times.
And then Rome controls United States and everybody else. So United States is acting on whose behalf? We fail to look at it that way.
Yes, that is how we need to look at it, because verse 12 said he exercised all the power of the first beast.
Yeah.
So America exercised all the power of Rome. And he make all the earth and all them that dwell therein worship Rome.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that people. How is it he get them to it? He caused them to do it. How you cause them to do it unless you're a dictator? You can't cause them unless you're a dictator. You have to rule over them.
True.
That is what we're trying to show you.
So the United States is under pressure to fulfill whatever Rome says.
Yes, whatever Rome says.
Whatever comes from the devil.
Yes, man, he has to fulfill it.
You know?
So we see that Rome is seen as a world ruling power, people. And he got that title from Satan, who gave him great authority and a seat. But he got a deadly wound and lost that supremacy. And I want you to listen and pay keen attention to what I'm about to say to you, people. Rome got a deadly wound and lost that supremacy for a time until it is now healed. But what is still lacking is a recognition. That is what is lacking, people. Rome was the ruling power in the Dark Ages. He got all the recognition because he was ruling, and people were subjected people were subjected by force through persecution. If you never comply, you get persecuted, just as that. And we're coming right back to that point in Earth's history. So Rome's deadly wound is healed, right? But what they're still lacking is a recognition. You understand? So that is where America comes in, people, as the image of the beast to point the world back to Rome. Verse 12 tells us that he will exercise all the power and cause the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, which is Rome. So where Rome is lacking in the recognition, America picks it up and gives back Rome that recognition. Now the first beast, people, power is through dictatorship, which is Rome. Rome gets its power through dictatorship, and America exercises all the power, not some, all the power of the first beast. What do you expect from America, people? What is you expect from America? It has to be dictatorship. I mean, I if you not connect the dots, like how me I try connect it in the brain, but I really hope and understand why America is doing what America is doing. And it is stemming through the entire world, including Jamaica. Nobody think Jamaica exempt, Because we're going to touch Jamaica as well. We touched it already in another program, but we're going to touch it again. So you can understand and get in on your head where we are in Earth's history. Listen to what this says. This is Murphy. And you know Murphy? Not Eddie Murphy, no.
I know a lot of Murphys.
Yeah, man, not Eddie Murphy. Yeah, this one is from Murphy, people. It's from Murphy Senate.gov. April the 11th, this one is on April 2025. It says Trump is dismantling our democracy. We must come together and act before it's too late. No, this is who Murphy is. It says U.S. Senator Chris Murphy spoke on the U.S. Senate floor to sound the alarm about Trump's coordinated effort to dismantle the pillars of American democracy. Stick up here, just pause a moment of silence for what you just said. I want to think about that, people. And let me read it again. U.S. Senator Chris Murphy spoke on the U.S. Senate floor. Never private this man say it, or you never take it to social media and one look at post Becky. On the Senate floor in a parliament, the man says he sounded the alarm about Trump's coordinated effort to dismantle the pillars of American democracy. Now, my question to this, Becky. All right. For any organized body, they have to be established upon pillars. So, or we would call them we call them something now. Fundamental. Yeah, you call them beliefs. Yes, you call them beliefs. Yeah, fundamental beliefs are declaration of principles. Fundamental principles. That's the word, principles. Yes.
There's a word. Yeah. There's a word.
Yeah. Or if you go to any business place, they have policies. So you realize that.
It has to do it right. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So this man is sounding the alarm that Trump is trying to dismantle the pillars of American democracy. So what I'm trying to bring in your head, people, is that when you dismantle the pillar, when you dismantle the policy, when you dismantle the fundamental beliefs or the fundamental policies, yes, or principles, that simply means that you have disregarded the entire fabric of that society.
Yeah.
You realize the entire thing has to be changed. To dismantle the pillar means you take it from the root. Remember in the Bible when Jesus said the fig tree not bear fruit, so you cut it down a root and branch. Yeah, man, the root have to come out. It simply means that tree will cease to exist anymore. So when
the source of life has to be stopped.
Yes, man, has to be stopped.
Yeah.
So it's simply telling us, people, that when you dismantle the pillars of a democracy, of any society, it simply means that that country ceases to exist as a democracy anymore. If you dismantle the pillars, that means it's not a democracy, because it's the pillars are the foundation. You know that.
Yes.
You destroy the foundation of any building, the whole building will collapse. So it simply means that you dismantle the pillars, you dismantle the entire fabric of society, the entire fabric of that country, as you know it.
Yeah.
But if you want the country to run, you have to implement something, Becky. So that simply means you destroy the fundamental pillars, you introduce your own pillars, which is dictatorship. So if you have a house, if you have a house right now, I have built a house. But boy, you say, boy, you want it different. But the man say, so me have to go demolish it. Not demolish it, me have to go bring down them kind of pillars here, but you want a new pillar inside. You have box, but you want a fancy kind of pillar. So what you do, you know what a construction man would do now? our man who is in that field of work.
Yeah.
He doesn't want he doesn't want the entire building to collapse because that costs over money people. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take them out one by one. So you take out this one pillar here, you erect the
Replace
new
it.
one, you replace
Yeah.
the same time. That is what Trump is seen by doing. He take out this out of the federal government, he just fly in film one same time, squeeze them in same time. Look, it still look like a democracy, but it's not a democracy. It's a dictatorship, but it still look like a democracy. That is why I do until the entire building is changed out. But by that time, it's too late. You can't know
What makes a country a
late.
country? What makes America America? It's the
Yes.
Constitution.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Constitution.
They allow for freedom of this, freedom
Yes.
of that,
Yes.
all those kind of things. So
Yes.
if you replace all of those, you know, it's not really America you have again.
You can't have America again. Yeah, look for next China, next
Mhm.
Russia,
So
next
the
communist.
Revelation says
Yes.
that whole lamb that was instituted
Yes. Turns a wolf.
is no longer
Yes.
is no longer
That
there.
is why the Bible
Mhm.
tells us people
Mhm.
that he will speak as a dragon.
Yes, man.
That lamb-like beast is not gonna talk
So-
as a dragon.
They have erected the
Yes,
pillars
man.
of the dragon right
So
now.
we are seeing America, Becky. I've got to point
Mhm.
that out. We're seeing America now speaking as a dragon.
Mhm.
And then the Bible did not stop at America. It
Mhm.
says he caused the entire earth and everybody that dwell therein to
Yeah.
worship
Yeah.
the first beast.
Mhm.
You know the only best thing about this, Becky? This causing of all is voluntary.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, we still have a choice in the matter.
Mhm.
The only difference is that when you exercise your choice against their will, you'll be persecuted. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
You know, because you refuse. That is why we started with Galatians 5 verse 1. Stand fast
Mhm.
in the liberty with which Christ has set you free.
Yeah.
Because if he make you free, you shall be free indeed.
So we
Bible
cannot
says.
look at
Mhm.
United States of America again
No,
as
no. A free country.
yeah, or for any lamb-like qualities
No,
or for
no,
lamb-like benefits,
No,
because that is gone, that has
gone.
disappeared.
Yes,
We need
yes,
to look now
yes,
at United States as a I don't
yes.
know, as a
A
evil,
ruling
as a
power.
source of evil,
Yes,
and
man.
you know,
Yes, man.
a dictatorship, as you have been saying.
Yes, that is where it has come to know,
because
that type of
that's what it is.
authoritarian
Mhm.
government. And it's going to
Mhm.
affect all of us people, whether you want to be a Christian or you want to be a
Mhm.
Christian not, you get that in your head, it's going to
Mhm.
affect you.
So it's no longer a
Because,
friendly nation.
yeah, man,
No.
we grew up having liberty. You want
Yeah.
to understand that, having
Yeah.
freedom. Now that freedom is being curtailed. And it's not only
Mhm.
being curtailed for Christians, because everybody is to be controlled.
Mhm.
So the only difference is that you might choose their side because you don't have God or you don't understand certain things. And that is why we're telling you now that all of this that is happening is over worship,
Yeah.
prophesied in the Bible to happen. So if you believe, say, you're not gonna take up God's business and labor for his cause, you will be
Mhm.
exempt. You won't be exempt.
Mhm.
You will be pressured under the system, nevertheless, whether you like it or not. But you know, Becky, before I go forward with this, what this senator is saying, because when we hear them people are talking, and they're being worried, I get worried now, no, because
Mhm.
if you then you amongst him and whatever, and you worried about this thing, where's the ball come me down here, so who they see as nobody? And me is supposed to worry. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And me is supposed to worry. So before, when Trump was in office, I believe in 2016, you know, have the pandemic thing. Through to 2020, and yeah, 2019, 2020, you know, the pandemic thing going around. The pandemic. I believe it was from that time he
Mhm.
was repealing some laws in America, you know.
Yeah.
Amendments, right? Not laws,
Mhm.
amendments. No, note people that amendments are not supposed to change, you know. That's right. Not amendments, sorry. Amendments.
Well,
I know they are
the amendments are the ones in the Constitution.
Yes,
sir.
right, right. I
Mhm.
don't. The amendments are
So
ones that
they
are not
shouldn't
supposed
be
to be
changed.
changed. Right,
No.
they're not supposed to be changed.
No.
And this man was changing the amendments. I think it was
Mhm.
on regard to human rights. You know, yeah, man, something with human rights.
Yeah,
You know, violated man. Amendments of it. When I saw it, I'm like, man, that simple means that
Mhm. But how
this
you get the
man.
dragon then if you're not
Eh?
changed? Yeah.
Exactly. But you know that has shown me, Becky and our
Oh.
listeners, that is showing me that from that time,
Mhm.
people, this man take over the judiciary branch. Yeah, man, because
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
now it's only executive branch have, and you
Mhm.
have that alone, that's a dictatorship society,
Yeah.
You bypass the legislator and you bypass the judiciary. You only just execute. So you will come in here, they just execute it. Me now go look, you don't need to legislate nothing, you don't need for judiciary nothing. Me just go execute on things. And that is what he has been doing. And when people go against it, full force is used against it. And you believe me, we are come to it shortly because when the face a joke come and start talk some things say boy, things are not gonna work in our favor from now going forward. And when the thing could not take this thing serious, so we tell the people and we wanted to understand. When I saw this thing, okay, I didn't plan to come up with this, But I guess God had other plans because He wanted this to reach the ears of the listeners who are on the platform today. Because this wasn't the direction I was gonna take this thing, and then I was doing some deeper studies, and then it revealed to me. I'm saying, no, said this is what I'm supposed to present because this is what is happening now in our society. Liberty of conscience is now being threatened. But everybody's being removed. And there's some top people that talk about this thing. And all right, let me go forward. It says here that Murphy warned attacks on journalists, universities, and we saw those in the news, lawyers, and the business community are eroding the institutions that hold leaders accountable. When you hear that, people, comment and tell me when you hear that. Come and think when you hear that, Let me read it again. He warned attacks on journalists, universities, lawyers, and the business community are eroding the institutions that hold the leaders accountable, paving the way for a fake democracy where elections still happen. Listen to this. Elections still happen, but only one side ever wins. There you go. Elections. So it look like a democracy. I mean, when I read this, I want please come to my mind. I been tell me what come to my mind, Becky.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me my country.
A Jamaica alone
No,
come to
you
my
can't
mind.
say that.
A Jamaica alone come to my mind and I read this thing.
This is my Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
My
It looks like a democracy, but only one side ever wins. I don't come to my
This
mind.
is the land of my birth.
Yeah, man. Mine too. 1 p.m. King Trump. I mean, serious? Let's go into it, people. But I want us to understand right here where it says that is eroding these institutions that hold leaders accountable. So that's what you do, And right now the man with the impeach Trump, the impeachment when he get in 2016 that time there. He go against that man there. Yeah man, I enemy that so man I put the law upon the man now. Not even the law. But this one thing because the law wouldn't agree with that. He man I go against the man because I enemy. I think we're supposed to have it. I have it. Go see this somewhere, I'm ready. I like, you serious? Man, this man a revenge of something.
You can. It has been done in the past,
So what he's doing now?
Something that ever always happens.
Exactly. But the difference between now and then, Becky, and our listeners, is that it takes a different approach. No.
Yeah.
Because back then he was impeached and he come out of office a couple of times already. No, they can't impeach him. If you impeach King Trump, he don't set it in place where when he set these policies or these over executive orders, you can't impeach him again, because he attack all of these people. If you say nothing against him, he cut it from federal funding. Plop. Remember with the universities, the University of Columbia was on, they had even Harvard University. He just cut their federal funding. And them there's something name where you give Pitney scholarships. He cut the scholarships. Same time from all of them. So we realize, people, that if you go against the government regime, you are cut from the resources the government has to offer. Does that sound like a dictatorship to you people, or is it a democracy? You tell me, what that sound like to you right now? Because I'm trying to show you right now, so we need to prepare now. You who are listening to this program or watching, you need to get yourself prepared. Because if you are in a state now where you're dependent upon the government, you make sure say anything they implement, you go along with it, is they're going to cut you from the resources. Nonetheless, just like this, they're going to cut you from it. Because that is where we are in Earth's history right now. It says here that most of the time, there's not a single moment when the executive dramatically seizes power. Murphy said. He says there's not normally a brazen attempt to burn down the parliament building. No, instead democracies die when gradually, often quietly and methodically over time. The structures that hold the executive accountable for corruption, for thievery, for the wrongdoing are dismantled. So dismantle all these structures that hold them accountable. And this is what he concluded. He said that if journalists are constantly looking over their shoulder and unable to report on the truth. If protest is suppressed even moderately at universities, because I know so universities protests normally start from
Yeah.
man, universities they normally start from an permit in the streets and cities and whatever. So if protest is suppressed even moderately at universities, if lawyers start giving cover instead of uncovering corruption and illegality in the regime, if companies start being mouthpieces for the regime as a price of doing business, if all that happens, then we are not a real democracy anymore. We're a fake democracy.
Yeah.
Elections still happen like in Turkey, like Hungary, like Venezuela, but the rulers are going to be tilted and dissent will be suppressed so much that the same side, Trump side, wins over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it says that, and this should matter not just to Democrats, not just to members of the minority party.
Yeah.
This should matter to Republicans as well. We swear an oath to uphold the Constitution, and it's time for us to see the game that is being played. Only if we come together are we going to have a chance to save ourselves from the fate that has befallen so many other countries that have slowly, too quietly, seen their countries transition from real democracy to fake democracy. Do you think them coming together is going to help anything, Becky? Do you think them coming together is going to help anybody, people?
I see many associations trying to come together to go against
And
what,
it just
what
don't
is
work
being
out.
implemented, what's in place. It's not going to work.
Can't work.
And
Can't
then
work.
I think it's just a facade, as many
Yeah,
would
man.
say,
Yes.
because even the persons behind these dissenters
Yes.
and these persons who are demonstrating and so,
Yes.
they are the same ones being paid by the persons who are oppressing us.
Yes. Exactly.
So it's a
Exactly.
deception to us.
Exactly. So
you
true.
know.
People. That's the reason. That's the reason why he got the title King Trump,
Yeah.
and he established that individuals won't need to vote anymore.
Mhm.
Remember when he said that
Mhm.
you won't need to vote anymore. Fix it so good.
Yeah.
You want to have Christians come out, vote, vote, vote. That is why I said you won't need to vote anymore. Interestingly, though, he has been reorganizing and restructuring to suit his regime. We see that happening.
Mhm.
Change up the whole federal government. That means wherever is brought down to persons who won't question his motives.
Mhm.
So whoever he fires or he hires are persons who won't question his motives, persons who are controlled. Who else doing something similar, Becky? Or who else is doing something similar? You know?
And as I said, let me hope you're not talking about Jamaica,
1 p.m.
because this is the land of my birth.
1 p.m. I realize doing
So,
it. I don't know if I realize
Mhm.
the other day when he was sworn into office.
Mhm.
Saying there's some restructuring of his party. Some persons who were there before weren't there anymore, and he
Oh,
bringing
you
some
mean the
people who were
cabinet?
there. Yeah, man, the cabinet.
Oh,
Do some
okay.
restructuring and some reorganizing at the cabinet.
Well, it normally happens, but
Mhm.
uh, I hear what you're saying, but not many persons were changed.
Change. No, I realize. I know
Right?
not many were
It
changed.
nearly remains the
I
same
know.
because it's just a continuation of what was
Yes.
in place.
Yes.
The thing is so set that you can't really shuffle it.
Yes.
Can't really
Yes.
shuffle it because my role is to accomplish A,
Mhm.
B, C, D.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I was only able to accomplish A, B, and C. So
Mhm.
now I have to put in place D.
Yes.
So you can't change me.
Yes.
You wouldn't change me.
But no, exactly.
You wouldn't change
Exactly.
me.
Only for the purpose. No,
Mhm.
what I'm bringing to the people is that the purpose has to be in relation to what the government himself want, the
That
1
is it.
p.m. want.
That is
So
it.
he reshuffle it. So
Mhm.
he only put in people who now get in the opposition. When he put them in, when you see certain things are going to question it and say, really,
Yeah.
like the senator, when he put you in place, you must just carry it out and not question nothing at
But
all.
then you
You
wouldn't
understand?
question because you are a part of the plan.
Yes.
You are aware of the whole scheme of things.
Yes. Yes.
So you would just work along with.
Yeah, man. Even though some people
Yeah.
work along, when they
Mhm.
reach certain points, like, it's like a surprise them they didn't expect.
Mhm.
They lash out.
Mhm.
Just I guess the senator would have been up to speed with certain things, and boy,
Yeah.
man, lash out, man, Trump. He's a senator.
Yeah.
He knows a representative, so he's lashing out. But here, and I guess you have some whistleblowers here and there. You
Yeah.
have to have them. I mean, no matter how Satan seeks to oppress the truth, God has people set in positions that will continue to proclaim it just for a short period of time so you can be awakened out of your slumber, people. So the question is Jamaica heading to a dictatorship? Wondering that as well. Let's look at what is happening. This is one from scientificamerica.com on the 14th of May this year. It says science tells us the US is heading toward a dictatorship. There's so much places that say one thing. It says the red flags abound. Political research tells us the US is becoming an autocracy as President Donald Trump pretty much checks all the warning boxes for an autocrat. Last September, Scientific America warned of Trump's nonsensical conspiracy fantasies that he ignores the climate crisis and has fondness for unqualified ideologues whom he would appoint should he become president again. It's now May, and sadly, that all checks out. The US is in a bad place, and scholars warn looks to be headed for worse.
Yeah.
Worse even than Trump's relentless attack on science have been his administration's assault on the law. The man even target the law. His officials have illegally fired federal workers, impounded congressional appropriations, and seized people off the street for deportations to foreign prisons, threatening the same for all US citizens. Man, I threatening your own citizens, You can't tell me this is not dictatorship. This is not Satan people. Your own people are threatening. Wow.
But it's serious enough because normally you deport a person to his or her original country, place of origin.
Yes.
But now you're deporting them to
foreign countries.
Prisons.
Yeah, you're sending them into the
other
categories with crocodile, all sorts of things. And you're telling me that this doesn't sound like a dictatorship.
It sounds like you have power over those countries too. Right. And you can't send a man to my prison.
Yeah, just send to my. Of course, you have power over them because guess what? I mean, this thing is so structured, Becky, that if you go against him, and you set tariff, in the Caribbean right now, I don't remember if I could find it. I'm supposed to have it where he made a statement and said, boy, if Caribbean comply, tariff, yeah, man, they are going to be prosecuted. You must send things out there for them. So guess what? Because it's a big, beautiful America, we get so many things. Man, can't afford for America have any animosity against me. You have to comply.
You have to comply.
Yeah, man. America the big bad dog, So that means when the big bad dog roll in, everybody have to comply. I remember he must speak like a jug and he say, he's next, as you say in the Bible, when you have kings and rulers and they say, I'll give you second part in my kingdom, or next half of my kingdom, second in position in command. America is second in position to Rome. Yes, man. Rome is first in position. America is second in position, people. So it is showing you which two powers rule the world right now. America and Rome. And them two powers rule the world, Nobody else. Just America and Rome rule everybody else. So it says here that we should all be worried that the US should. Oh, okay, Minary so far. It says the depth and breadth of this administration's disregard for civil liberties. You hear that says? The disregard, people, listen to this. The depth and breadth of this administration's disregard.
America?
Yeah, man.
Eating its own laws?
Yes, man. It says the depth and breadth of this administration's disregard for civil liberties. You know that means? Your liberties, civil liberties. They disregard it. Political pluralism, the separation of powers and legal constraints of all kinds mark it as an authoritarian regime. And who said this? A law professor.
Yeah.
David Prosen of the Columbia University School of Law. And I believe the same Columbia University go against Trump thing, And he and he cut funding from them, till they have to come on board, Yes, man. They have to come on board and cut them till the same university have to make the when them protest over there, have to send police out there for what they call them protest police, for lock them up. Yeah, man, they go against them and the man saying, yeah, so you do it, and me have a power. Bam, cut funding. You have to join on board. I'm showing the people where we are. We need to be prepared what is coming. Not
Yeah,
if coming alone, what is here. And it's gonna get worse. This is what it goes further to say. He says here that we should all be worried. You hear that? We should all be worried that the US is headed toward an autocracy. Since Donald Trump's inauguration, the country has embarked on a slippery slope towards autocracy, concludes this political scientist at the University of Ottawa. He said in a May report in politics, and okay, he said rather than a coup, you know what a coup is? You know, they know what a
yeah,
coup, so
yeah.
groups, you know, then,
Rival.
yeah, so he said rather than a coup, Trump's attack on law firms, universities, immigrants, and others constitute a more incremental form of democratic erosion. So it might erode the democracy in the country. And it's true, we see it all over and attack the law firms, the lawyers them, they're afraid to talk on behalf of the people because they're afraid that Trump are going to impose things on them. The university them afraid to talk, the people themselves afraid to talk, the international students them now go to school because they're afraid ICE go find them.
That's a
All
king.
sorts of things. Yeah?
That is a
Yeah,
king.
man, that's a king. So
A
like
king.
monarchy.
Yes,
So like
sir.
a monarchy.
Mhm.
You understand, people? We're showing you where we are.
Mhm.
And what the point, as I said before, what we want you to get is when this thing happens, it shows you the next thing in the playbook, people, is Sunday law and Christ coming. That's the next thing in the playbook, you know. Sunday law, plagues, Christ coming. That's the next thing. How close are we to the end? We ask the question again. Liberty of conscience being threatened. Let us go forward. Time magazine. This one is more recent. September the 27th, just the other day.
Yeah.
2025. Trump sends troops to Portland, authorizes full force if necessary. No, listeners and viewers, if anybody are here before,
It's Portland,
make
Oregon,
sure.
right?
Yeah, man, Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
No, not Portland, Jamaica.
Okay.
Portland, Oregon.
Just checking.
Make sure you cock on the ears to hear that one, people. If anybody are hear nothing else, ensure you hear this one. This one is very significant and important right now. You know? So I'm gonna bring it forward. So before this, let me read this comment. It says, are we seeing the world governments moving to a dictatorship according to the prophecy of the Bible as it relates to the forming of the image of the beast? Is it that the church is equally guilty in forming these dictatorships? You know, as you read that, what comes to my mind, Becky and the listeners, there's an early church. Early church. You know, for the early church, to be a part in forming the image of the beast, they had to join hands with the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, they saw the power of the secular government when it seemed like things weren't going right within the church itself. They see the power, and in doing so, the image of the beast was formed, where you have the church alone, the state,
Yeah.
to have say in their things, where there should be a separation between these two.
Mhm.
So it is right here. The church has allowed the state to come into play to do certain things. And now the church is dictating to the state to employ her own ends. That is the mother church, as a matter of fact. What they call the mother church.
So Trump's voice, is it the voice of the church?
No, sir.
Is it not the voice of the church?
Well,
because if the
well,
image of the beast
well,
is already
well,
formed, who is speaking?
Well, it depends. It depends on which
Is
church.
it the state or the church?
It's the church speaking, man, through the state. All right, let's clarify it. It's Rome, the Church of Rome, you know, Catholic, speaking through the state. But we ought to understand that.
But the churches have to come together.
No, man, that's what I'm getting to. We ought
Okay,
to understand
okay.
that Rome has daughters.
Mhm.
You understand? He has daughters. So the daughters now are who you would classify as apostate Protestants.
Mhm.
The reason why I don't classify all the church because God always has His church that will stand against this. So we can't classify God thing in all of this.
Okay.
So can't classify God's church
Mhm.
into this because God's church will not be a part of Satan's regime. You understand? God's church is always a part and against this. You know, you have those who profess to be God's church still, but they are not because God's church will never be a part.
So it's,
But
it's
Roma's
apostate
daughters,
Protestantism.
apostate Protestantism, yes.
Okay.
They are the ones who have mingled
Mhm.
with the state to cause this image to be formed. Apostate Protestantism.
Including apostate Adventists.
Yes, man.
Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah, man. apostate
I
Protestants.
notice you're afraid because you said God's church, you know. You can't put
All
God's
right,
church in this.
let's go even deeper.
But
Apostate Protestants encompass
yes.
every denomination, you know.
Yes.
Because at one point, all of these denominations were against Roman. But they like Roman
True.
at one
True.
point, you know.
True.
And everybody loved
So they
Roman.
upheld truth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Everybody was upholding the truth back then.
Mm-hmm.
But it's from Rome, they became what I call it now, ecumenical movement.
Yeah.
But Rome was intertwined within this thing now.
Yeah.
Then the apostasy began. So they are no longer Protestants.
So all have gone back to Rome.
Yes, man. All have gone back to Rome.
Yeah.
Yes. So the daughters
So
have
it's
gone
Rome
back to
again. If everybody gone back to Rome, it's
Yes.
one big happy family.
Yes, man.
So it's a Roman family again.
the Roman family.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yes.
true. So true. That's a serious case now.
So they are the ones who are speaking through
Yes. Through America.
Trump, America,
Mhm.
and the voice of America is the
But
president.
I would let you know, at rehab, that Rome is only silent where she is vulnerable.
Yes.
We need to get that and understand it in our brain.
Mhm.
Rome is only silent where she is vulnerable.
Mhm.
She's only speaking to America now because the recognition is still not there.
Mhm.
The recognition of Rome, back then, when Rome was in full swing, Rome ain't nobody if you talk on their behalf, Once you
True.
agree, bam, persecution.
True.
Rome is silent where she's vulnerable. The prophet herself said that. Anyway, the same great controversy. And they said when that power is not regained to her through America,
Mhm.
then she will start to exercise the powers that she once had before. At that time, I just strictly Rome I go see right now. Yeah, man, strictly Rome I go see the persecution. I mean, America still is going to be used because at the civil authority, Rome I go use to implement these persecutions. But
Yeah.
at that time, Rome will no longer be speaking to any entity. I just Rome I go see now the punishment because she would have had no full recognition from all the nations across the world.
Yeah.
And we're gonna show you how close we are to Rome getting that full recognition that she needs.
Mhm.
Notice here, people, from Time Magazine, 27th of September. So Trump sends troops to Portland, authorizes full force if necessary.
Mhm.
It said President Donald Trump announced on Saturday that he had directed the Pentagon to send troops to protect Portland, Oregon. You want to say protect, Listen to
Yeah.
this now. Adding that he was authorizing full force if necessary. At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security, whatever this man name, Christie, yeah, I am directing Secretary of War. Man saying Trump, I am directing Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
You get new name.
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, new
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa. And you know who's Antifa, right?
Yeah, but that is still America, right?
Yeah, man. I know you know Antifa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. So Antifa is labeled as a terrorist now. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social on Saturday morning,
Mhm.
I am also authorizing full force if necessary. He added, now people, I wanted to see how important this thing is to our liberty. I'm going to show how important it is to our liberty right now.
Mhm.
The announcement comes less than a week, the article continues, after Trump officially designated Antifa as a domestic terror group and follows a pledge from the Trump administration to carry out a broad crackdown on left-wing groups in the aftermath of the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Mm.
Now, here what the mayor of Portland said now, because
Charlie yet.
yeah, that's it. Still left on the case, man. Here what the mayor of Portland says now, and when I read this thing, I realized that how is it you get the Secretary of War
Mhm.
to bring peace? I don't understand that. But anyways, let's look at what the mayor said in Portland. Now, Portland's mayor Keith Wilson hit out at Trump's order as a fruitless show of force.
Yeah.
The number of necessary troops is zero. That's what man saying. The number of troops necessary in Portland is zero. That means they need no troops down there. He says the number of necessary troops is zero in Portland and any other American city. Our nation has a long memory for acts of oppression. Listen to this now, people. I get this part. And the president will not find lawlessness or violence here unless he plans to perpetrate it. You hear the man says? Unless he plans to create that war and violence, that lawlessness and violence. He said in a statement, Trump has made unprecedented, see him where they come again, unprecedented. He has made unprecedented use of the US military for domestic purposes in his second term, raising concerns about the use of the threat of force to stifle dissent against his unpopular government. No, people. You are using the Secretary of War to prevent war. Oh, that makes sense. Me see. Let me tell you what the Secretary. Cause when I'm reading, I have to go research what the Secretary of War is supposed to do.
You want peace?
A peace you want, man say.
Is it that Trump called upon the Secretary of War to
bring peace? I never heard of that in my life.
Okay.
When me read it about 5 times. We try to get it. And then we go research. Okay, what's the purpose of the Secretary of War? You what the Secretary of War is supposed to do? The Secretary of War oversees the War Department and acts as the principal war policy maker and advisor. So you're sending them a Poland to make peace if he's supposed to be a war advisor and want to do things concerning war.
So I didn't know the works have already started. All right, the other day, Trump summoned, the other day, United States summoned their people.
Yes.
All of the you call it? Oh my.
Troops them?
No man, the head, the
governments, federal government.
Oh, the head of war in all of the places. There's a word for it.
Okay,
Sorry.
Okay.
So it's the head of the military all over the world.
Right.
Oh my. Can't remember the word. Anyway, he summoned all the generals. Yes. So all of the war generals throughout the world. Americans.
Yes.
He summoned them and they had a big meeting. And then the country was locked down.
Yes. You're talking the government lockdown that they've been having.
So we have not heard where these generals were redeployed, anywhere else throughout the world. So they are here. And he at one point said in his speech, as in Donald Trump, that he's gonna cause problems in some states, And
he has started.
We are seeing it now.
That's actually just stated. Yes, so have started.
They're actually warring or killing off
or
harming their own.
Yes, man, people.
You understand? It used to be other countries.
Trump said already, Becky, during the height of the deportation scenario, he stated that he doesn't have any problem sending his own citizens to different countries, prisons to different countries. Yeah, man, he stated himself he didn't have a problem doing that. No, as a matter of fact, sorry. He said, I would love to send them to different countries, to the prisons and so forth. Yeah, man, not a problem to do that.
Thank you, Arthur.
Now you tell me, doesn't that sound like a dictator to you? If you have your own people, remember I'm telling the people. No, that's not what is happening.
But this is the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. We don't have a clue what America.
So we should stop
right now.
Trying to get visas and stuff to the United States.
Yeah, if you stop right now, Trump says if you are gonna come over there, if you gonna have baby, the law is put in place right now. Because I see my executor over laws, say you cannot get a visa for that. If you want to go born for your citizenship, you're not getting a visa for go over there. You can't.
No problem with that.
Yeah, man, you revoke that.
We normally do that. There's a reason we normally do that.
Yes, man.
It's not a coincidence. We just end up there at the time.
Yes.
We used to do it purposely.
Yeah, purposefully.
Yes, but what may I say? Now to acquire a visa in Jamaica, it's more expensive now than it was a few months ago.
To go over there,
right?
Yes.
So even that is there as a deterrent. Don't get the visa to go America.
Don't come here. Don't come.
Trump is saying don't come there either.
Yes.
And in actions they are saying this is one of the worst places to be.
Yes.
But yet still
people love over there.
We still line up an embassy trying to get the visa to go.
Man. So Becky, we made an interesting point before where you mentioned about the war, making war throughout.
Yeah. So it's war in his own country.
So are we looking forward for civil war.
civil unrest and
Yes, civil
all that kind of
unrest
thing.
broken out through the country.
Yes,
Because based on what the
England
mayor,
and Portland
yeah, because based on what the mayor is saying,
go create
he's the one who's
war.
perpetuating
Mhm.
war.
Mhm.
But it doesn't stop there. Look what he's perpetuating the war against. Let's go further. Because yeah, we see that the secretary of a war, a deal war, no peace. So it doesn't sound like he was preventing war there, but he rather escalated, right?
Yeah.
Now he's declaring war on the use of he's declaring war or the use of full force
Mhm.
on this Antifa group. I think say
Mhm.
who he states is a terrorist group. But the question is, what is Antifa? What is Antifa? You know, me always say, what is Antifa? Remember this Antifa thing years ago, but we never take stock to go research it. Now listen to what Antifa is.
Something.
According to Merriam-Webster, and it's more than one platform, so it's the same definition.
Yeah.
Antifa is a person or group actively opposing fascism.
Mhm.
The groups prominently featured about 100 Christian ministers in clerical garb, angry Charlottesville residents, peace advocates, Black Lives Matter activists, and self-styled anti-fascists who call themselves Antifa. Now the next question that will come up in your mind.
Yeah.
What is fascism? What is fascism? Why he's against Antifas who are against fascism? What is fascism? Let me tell you. Let me break it down so you understand how our liberties are being threatened right now. Our liberty of conscience is being threatened, and that the world is heading to a dictatorship style society. Listen, what is fascism? Fascism is characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived interest of the nation or race, a strong regimentation of society and the economy. That is what fascism is. So people don't think you want it any clearer than this. I think we can make any clearer than that right now.
Yeah.
Trump is silencing any group opposing his dictatorial regime. That's what we're seeing there. The mayor of Portland said he will not find lawlessness and violence unless he plans to perpetuate it. Get it now, people? But what does it mean for us? And is Trump the only one? So fascism is a left-wing group, right? Left-wing groups who are going against a totalitarian type of government, with the right wing, which is Republican, and Trump is a Republican. So Trump is right wing, and because the left wing or the Antifas are against this kind of society, we have a dictator. Trump decided to say, well, we have use full force against them if necessary, you know, to get rid of them. Because they are disturbing my dictatorial regime that I want to implement in America right now. They are disturbing. So get rid of them. And it's not only Poland alone. If I think it's Oregon alone, because there was a next thing coming. Listen to these people, because they think it's only America alone as well. It's not America alone. The Guardian, and we're gonna show you in this how America is ahead. This is the most recent. Today, October 15th.
Yeah, but you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned that the Secretary of this
Secretary of
war,
War. Yeah, man.
Secretary of War.
Said.
He's deployed to wherever it is, Portland, Oregon, to cause war.
Yes.
And the man down there said, listen, yes, man, this man is causing war.
Yes.
There's no war here.
Nothing here.
So if anything like that, he's the one who is instigating and perpetrating the war. The how I see it, and you need to tell me I'm wrong.
Yes.
I want to know who funds Antifa. Right? Because as the man rightly says, the young man is there to start the war. To create a war situation.
Yes.
I am told that George Soros is one of those who sponsor our funds Antifa. Now, if George Soros, who also sponsors our funds just about everything else, being an American billionaire, one of those persons, you know, in that kind of inner circle, that sounds like you are the ones who are funding both sides.
Both sides. Wait,
so you are the one who's creating the situation in Portland. I didn't disturb
no man,
your
no man, no man.
direction.
You know, disturb my thing.
Okay.
It's just you brought out a
Mhm.
very important point right there.
Mhm.
It sounds like a Daniel, what you call her now? 11.
Mhm.
11, I don't remember which one. We have the king of the north and the king
Yeah.
of the south.
Yeah.
Two feathered, two wings of the same bird.
Mhm.
Same bird, the
Mhm.
same room. Two of them are the same room. King of
Mhm.
north, king of south, same room.
So you're
Two wings of
creating
the same
war,
bird. Yeah, man.
and you say it's
Gigi and
Antifa.
dialectic. You create the war and then you send them
You
out.
say
Just
Antifa.
a man.
So
Wow.
one I go pop
Wow.
up. One is at Portland now.
Yes.
Yeah, pop up one next one at
Yeah, man.
this other
Yes,
state, and
man.
you pop one another one
Pack
at
them
this
up
other
all
state.
over. All
And
over
then you just
America.
try and destroy your own little
Country.
beautiful America.
Yes, man. And
Mhm.
the people you really target to destroy. No?
That is it.
Yeah, man.
That is
Targeting the
it.
people to
They
destroy.
are always the ones
Yeah, man.
affected.
The targeted. So it's really how significant this thing is, people. But listen
Mhm.
this. This from the 12th of October. It's from the Guardian News. European far right follows Trump in calling for Antifa to be declared terrorists. So
Mhm.
if we think of the America alone, Europe follow America.
Yeah.
Listen what the article says. Where Donald Trump leads, Europe's nationalists and far right follow.
Mhm.
After a Truth Social post last month, when Trump announced the US would designate Antifa, the decentralized anti-fascist movement, a major terrorist organization, his international allies swung into action.
Mhm.
That same day, not even a week after, the same day, the Dutch parliament, where the largest party is Gert, whatever, far-right PVV, passed a resolution noting the US decision and calling on the government to
Mhm.
declare Antifa a terrorist organization in the Netherlands. Then the Hungarian Prime Minister, whatever his name,
Mhm.
more usually a source of inspiration for Trump, said his country would follow suit. So it's Hungary. How would I want to be? The Dutch one, yes, sir. So the first one read, so Becky, Netherlands.
Yeah.
So it's
Netherlands,
Netherlands,
Hungary.
then you have Hungary,
Mhm.
right? He said his country would follow suit. Next, in the European Parliament, a
Mhm.
far right MEP from the Flemish nationalist Belang party drafted a resolution with the same request.
Yeah.
Tom whatever that announced last week that 79 MEPs from 20 countries
Mhm.
people supported his proposed text. In a video post on X with ominous music playing, he described Antifa as an international network that is supported, financed, and protected by the system to fight the nationalist opposition with violence.
Mhm.
The Hungarian government has claimed that Antifa, with which it calls a left-wing terrorist organization,
Yeah.
is a menace to its citizens.
George Soros is Hungarian
It's
and
Hungarian.
American.
And
I'm just saying.
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
just
how
saying.
coincidentally, man? How coincidental? Whoa, people. This is simply telling us
Mm,
that soon and very soon, you know
they
what's gonna
take this thing
happen?
for joke,
Yeah, man, this thing is serious, man.
People's life no mean nothing to
Yeah,
them.
man, I tell you, this is telling us people that soon and very soon, you know what's gonna happen? We're going to meet the king. Man, that's what
Yeah,
this is telling.
yeah, yeah.
This is the last cigar in the box, people. I say when it is lighted, all hell will be broken loose.
Yeah.
Our liberty of conscience is the last wall that needs to collapse to implement fully this beast system.
Yes.
I need to get that this liberty of conscience, the last wall that needs to be collapsed. What is it? Beast system to be fully implemented.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see through this same America, it permeates the entire world.
Yeah.
Revelation 18 verse 3 tells us, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. It's not only America people that will do it, but all nations. You don't believe me? Watch this. This one is from the 11th of March 2025 from The Justicia. We're not going to read the internal aspect because of the time, but the title says Dictatorship in Peru,
Mm-hmm.
silencing the people's voice. It's a Peru of dictatorship.
Yeah.
This one is from the 20th of March 2025 from BBC. Anger as Indonesia law allows military bigger role in government. I read that one. It says that Indonesia's parliament has passed, and listen to this now, has passed controversial changes to legislation that will allow its military a bigger role in government. Critics warned that the move could return Indonesia to the dark days of Suharto's military dictatorship, which lasted 32 years until he was forced out of office in 1998. The revisions backed by President whatever, a former Special Forces commander and Suharto's son-in-law, allow military officers to take up positions in government without first retiring or resigning from the armed forces. Hundreds of pro-democracy activists have camped outside parliament since Wednesday, even to protest at the changes. So changes in Indonesia are allowing military now in parliament. And the protesters are saying, no, military for the behind barracks and for the in a defense. What about in a parliament? Dictatorship, if they're militarizing. What I said, militarizing the politics, that doesn't sound like the right word. Anyway, they are militarized politics right now. So we see that. Foreignaffairs.com, the 21st of March 2025. Hear what it says. Turkey is now a full-blown autocracy. You believe that Turkey? You see, all the world is now going to dictatorship. Turkey is now a full-blown dictatorship. Yeah, man. It says just days before Turkey's main opposition party was set to select its next presidential candidate, the leading contender, Istanbul Mayor Imigran, whatever her name is, was arrested and jailed, effectively removing him from the race. In this brazen act of political suppression, the Turkish government has taken a momentous step towards full-fledged autocracy. I'm going to show you why this is happening. From jcpa.org, this is the 2nd of April, following the same thing. It says, is President Erdogan leading Turkey toward a dictatorship? Over the years, his hold on power has seemingly become an addiction. Who else have an addiction for hold on power, Becky? Who you know else have an addiction to that thing there? From the beginning of time. Who you know that?
I never.
But Satan himself.
Yeah, he
from
wants,
the
and
beginning
he
of
wants,
creation.
And he wants, and he wants.
Yeah, man. From the beginning of creation, which is not Adam and Eve. From the beginning of creation, which is the angels, he was the first created being. This is what Satan had when iniquity was found. Addiction to power.
Yeah.
He wanted to be God. He always says, what the thing says, this president of Turkey says, over the years, his hold on power has seemingly become an addiction, pushing him to dismantle democratic safeguards. Recent developments in Turkey mark a dangerous new phase in what observers describe as Turkey's president's recap, ongoing erosion of democratic institutions, and his steps towards establishing authoritarian rule. Now, this is the last thing we're going to bring cover. Press for time. The 2nd of May 2025 from the Gleaner. And I know as usual I have to leave the best for last. Mazaki Tamiya, whatever her name is. She says militarization and democracy. Where is Jamaica heading? I don't ever save our country for last. Just the last.
Jamaica.
Where is Jamaica heading? Militarization or democracy? This one is from the 2nd of May 2025. And I brought this on here already, but I'm bringing it again because it seems important for the time. Now, the person who wrote this is a senior lecturer in the Department of Government at UWI, Mona. Let's read a short piece of what she said. She says that the government has been expanded the role of the army in policing, militarizing police practices, and passing or attempting to pass draconian legislation or sentencing related to crime, such as the expansion of mandatory minimum sentences, including for children. Militarism goes hand in hand with authoritarianism. You should say, people listen carefully. This is Jamaica we're talking about, you know. While democratic values include popular participation in decision making, checks on the power of government, and the protection of people's rights and freedoms, militarization threatens democracy by expanding the power of security forces to use violence against the people and curtail their means to participate in public life and enjoy rights and freedoms. I want to read about Turkey a while ago, Becky. Turkey, Indonesia. Let me read that. Them have put the military in politics, and the same thing we see so. Jamaica, not the military in politics, but they might expand the military.
Yeah, man, it's It's
Yeah, man.
playing its role.
Yeah, man, it's
It's playing its
definitely
role
playing
in
its
many
role.
ways. Yeah.
And she spoke on it because she spoke about the police brutality, killings, and so forth happening, which has not stopped. Up to yesterday, me look on the news, another one again.
The military is on the
And
street now,
yeah, man,
daily.
yeah, man, daily.
Yeah.
The police, yeah, man, the killings of the police is daily right now, people. You know, it says that she says that security forces are not neutral players in the state. They represent specific interests, sometimes singularly, the expansion of their own power. In our hemisphere, which is Jamaica, we are witnessing the rise of militarism and authoritarianism,
Yep.
best expressed in El Salvador. A lot more was said, so I would implore people go and read the article. A whole heap of things to expound on with it, but I couldn't bring the entire thing, for the interest of time. But she is saying here that I remember I know a government she working in,
Yeah.
so about things say because of government she have with it. She's a senior lecturer at UM Mona, lecturer for the government and whatever. She is saying that we are heading to an authoritarian type of society, just like El Salvador, where militarization is happening. So having more militarization than democracy, Becky, where people are being forced to have streets or whatever. You have Zosos, she spoke about the Zosos, the SOEs,
The rights
all
are
of
being
them things
taken
that
away.
happening. Yeah, man, the rights are being taken away from us. So, what we're trying to show you people, what I want you to realize is that all of these authoritarian countries have one thing in common, Becky, one single thing. A leader who doesn't want to let go of power. That's all they have. 1 p.m. King Trump, all of them, they want Indonesia, Turkey, none of them know let go of power. Russia, China, Korea, all of these leaders have one thing in power, people. They don't want to let go of power. It has become an addiction. That is how you know that Satan is ruling. Proverbs 29 verse 2, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. Who's ruling now? Satan has taken control. Revelation 17, I believe, 13. For all nations have drink of the wine. That's 17, I want it.
Well, they
One of them.
become one.
Yeah, they become one, right.
Yeah.
Right.
They
But
have
you
the
have another
same-
one that says
same
all
mind.
nations have drink of the wine of
They
the
have the
wrath
same
of
mind,
our
yeah.
fornication. Right. And Revelation 17, 13, they have one mind. And give their power and strength unto the beast.
You had Revelation 14.
Revelation 14, right. So that is what we're seeing right now, people. That all the nations, they have shown you, the governments around the world have now given their power and strength to the beast. Where America leads, they follow. And so we're seeing a dictatorship happening all over the world.
Yeah.
Our liberty of conscience is being stripped, and it will get worse in the coming months, weeks, days that are ahead of us. One thing and one encouragement I want to leave with you right now, people, and it's in Luke 21, I think 28. It is time to look up for our redemption.
Yes.
Jawed, nigh. This liberty of conscience is the last act to see right now before this B system is fully implemented. To have it fully implemented, you need to silence the voice of the people.
Yeah.
So where they don't have a voice, they don't have a say. They can't do anything in society. Once that is taking place, and we're steadily towards right now, we realize that the system of the beast, Sunday law by force, will be implemented, and Christ will put in his appearance. People, these governments have a quota or agenda that they're working with by 2030. We should have our agenda that we're working with to be perfect before 2030, because we don't know what will play out by that time. It's a series of things coming forth where God is about to put his appearance. Let us strive to be prepared for it. And the last words you want to give the people, Becky?
Yeah, I just jot down some of my thoughts.
Yes.
I wish to share. Satan sells the idea that conformity to the will of God is burdensome and leads to unhappiness and misery. But as soon as you subscribe to his authority, that's the devil's authority,
Yes.
he threatens to kill you.
Yes.
You know, there's nothing that he offers that contributes to life or love or happiness, because he has no love and therefore cannot offer love.
Yes.
He's a dictator and therefore cannot provide an atmosphere of happiness.
Yes. So true.
He's not a proponent of life, therefore all he can offer is destruction, tyranny, and death. Obedience to God, on the other hand, the keeping of his commandments guarantees life, peace of mind, and happiness, and it grants access to the tree of life. You know, Revelation says it best. Revelation
Yes.
22, verse 14.
Yes.
It said, "Blessed are they that do his commandments,
We have right to the
that
tree
they
of
may
life.
have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city."
Oh yes.
Yeah, let us
Amen. Yes.
pray. Thank you, Lord, for this morning. Help us to subscribe to life, to believe in you fully, do as you have commanded us to, respond in obedience to your commandments, so that we may experience life and we may stay on the path of truth. Because outside of that is everything that is unlike you. Help us, Lord, to stay close to you now more than ever, so you may take us through what is happening and what is ahead of us. Take us throughout the remaining portion of the day as we look to you. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, people, I really hope that what we have said today might give you a new perspective upon life. I hope it will allow you to question to yourselves, who am I in the whole scheme of things? What is my role in society? What part do I have to play in the whole scheme of things in relation to what is happening
Yeah.
in the world? And that you will realize that you are actually a proponent of Christ, of his working,
Mm-hmm.
and that he has made it possible for your salvation. That now it is your time to do your part to make it possible to be obedient unto him. So until next time, same place, same time, people, God's will. Have a good